Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome to the U.S. State Community Tier List. Now, this is going to be different from a couple of tier lists I've done before, and probably one I'm going to do right after, where I rate the states myself. I went ahead and I asked a couple members of my community to rate some states for me. Because the U.S. has a lot of states, 50 to be exact. And so I wanted to go ahead and ask them their opinions on these states. So I sent out this survey about 2 months ago, advertised a little bit on my personal social medias, as well as some general messages back and forth on the YouTube and my various social medias there. So, just sent this out, asked people to leave their name if they want to leave a name, and then we had the classic tier list: S, A, B, C, D, F. None of that E stuff. We're not counting E tier. E tier does not exist. And I just asked them all to go through it, rate the states as they viewed accordingly, and then at the end of it all, they could leave some comments and feedback as to why they rated it, which I don't know if we'll get into much in this one anyway. That might just be for my own reference, really. But I ended up getting a pretty good idea. In fact, I'll go ahead and show some general responses. So you get a pretty big pie chart that shows just kind of what people thought of all the states in general. And so what I did, and I did this all on pen and paper, so I didn't do any spreadsheet stuff to go over it, but I added up all of the I marked down, all the S tiers, A tiers of each state, and I had a point system figured out on how to properly rate them. So every S tier is worth 5 points, A tier 4 points, B tier 3 points, C tier 2 points, D tier 1 point, and F tier a grand 0 points. Then I figured out all the points, divided them to get an average rating, and we just kind of went through the list and figured out what was the best state and what was worst state, according to the community. And then I figured out an exact range to determine which tier was which. So we'll start with So I have the exact range written down, actually, and I should probably have typed it out real quick, so I will go ahead and do that on my desktop real quick. So you have S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and F tier. And so what ends up happening is that, just gotta make sure, there we go, I didn't want to have any spoilers already, but S tier is anything from 3.9, which is our maximum score, down to 3.48. From there, it was 3.47 to 3.06. From that, it's 3.05 down to 2.69. Then 2.63 to 2.22. Then from there, it's 2.21 to 1.8. And then finally, 1.79 to 1.37. So, those are the ranges for the tiers that we're going to be putting the states into all the way over here. So, I will open it up first to the chat that's in here right now, the not YouTube, the Twitch people. 2.63? That was a 4. I looked it over again. That was supposed to be a 4. I just couldn't read my own handwriting there. That was my bad. Thank you for pointing that out, sir. Good try. I just couldn't read my own handwriting. But the math has all more or less worked out there. So this is the rating. I actually have all the results down here. But before I do that, I'll open up to Twitch chat to see if they can... Let's see. Can you guys guess what was the best state and what was the worst state according to the community rankings? It's I was a little bit surprised. Worst state is New Jersey? No, actually. Best Oregon, worst New Jersey, best California, worst Illinois. You guys are not on it today. I'll go ahead and I'll start off with the best, because let's start things off on a positive note. The best state, according to the survey, was Hawaii. Go figure. I didn't fully realize it, but I guess when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. It's nice. It's tropical. Everyone wants to go there for vacation. It has beaches, volcanoes, a lot of cool stuff there. Ukuleles. A lot of dope stuff is over in Hawaii. I don't think there's a single bad thing that people can say about Hawaii unless they really want to work on it. Now, the worst state, on the other hand, according to the survey, and I should point out, by the way, when I was doing the survey, I forgot to put in North Carolina. So I do apologize to any North Carolinians who are watching this. We don't know how good or bad we will never know how good or bad your state is. The worst state, according to the community, is Arkansas. Now, Arkansas is a very deep southern state. Very hot, very humid, has a deep history of racism. Bill Clinton was from there. Whether that's a pro or a con in your book, that's up to you. I'm not going to make you decide that, but it might have been a con according to some people in the community. And, I mean, I've heard some things, but I'll go with this more on my own tier list ranking about, because my buddy went to Arkansas recently, and he had some interesting experiences there. And I gotta say, fair. I understand why people put in the bottom. I understand. So Hawaii was at the top. Arkansas was at the bottom. Does anyone else want to guess some more top 5, bottom 5? I will actually point out something very, very fun. Alaska. I'm thinking of the other 48 states. Hawaii was so highly rated that no other state managed to get into S tier. I think that is really interesting and kind of funny. New Jersey, bottom 5? Let me check to confirm that. No, actually. New Jersey has evaded the bottom tier. Alaska, Oregon, top 5. That's actually pretty up there. Alaska was the second state in the ranking. And then Oregon was actually number 5, I believe. Yeah, number 5. So, big dubs to Oregon. Illinois got to be bottom 5. You're wrong on that. Illinois is not in the bottom. At least not the bottom 5. Wouldn't that be funny if that was the case? It all depends on how the math was averaged out, so I'm not going to reveal anything about the math. I'll talk about the top real quick. Hawaii got a rating of 3.9, Alaska got a rating of 3.3, and then Oregon got 3.03. The top 5 states were the only ones to get a rating above 3. I believe the best state rating a state could have gotten was 9. And that's just because I did have some people just go in the survey and just kind of do all Fs or rate their state highly and rate all the others poorly. So you're gonna have some skew. Plus, some people just aren't big fans of Hawaii. I'm sure, honestly. But I'll go through the rest of the top 5 real quick. I didn't see anyone mention Colorado. That was in the top 5. As well as Washington State. That was in the top 5. The Pacific Northwest states, if you want to include Alaska in there, all top tier, apparently. Colorado getting some love as well, and Hawaii on top of its own. I didn't see many guesses for the bottom 5, so I'll just go ahead and, real quick, I want to make sure I didn't forget any states in here. Because I only have 48 written down. I might have skipped jotting one down. I will look at that and I will realize that as I go through. So, second to worst state, at least according to the survey. Did I put... Okay, I did put Louisiana. Just making sure. The second worst state, according to the survey, was Missouri. I know Mr. Gupp has a lot of things to say about Missouri, even though he didn't fill out the survey. But apparently a lot of people agreed with the sentiment. So, there we go. Then from there, where is he? There you go. Ole Miss, Mississippi. Deep South. Bottom of a bunch of metrics health-wise. So perhaps it makes sense. From there, Alabama. All the stereotypes of Sweet Home Alabama. Apparently coming back up. And then from there... Oh, I remember what I was missing. I forgot. I remember now. I kind of skipped over this one because I kind of forgot when I was writing down, and I didn't think... I was honestly surprised how much people did not like this state, but people were not very nice to Nebraska. Nebraska is the third worst state according to you guys. It did not go through. You can most end up being this is interviewed of a left of center Discord server and a strategy game YouTube channel. True. Maybe. That might be the case. You have to wonder how my Discord server ends up skewing the results because it's mainly strategy game people. And I don't want to make an assumption on political beliefs, but there are jokes and stereotypes about Holy 4 gamers. Yep, I did not get it, so feels bad. So, we might as well just kind of go and keep filling out the rest of the states from here. So these states make up the rest of A tier. There are no other A tier states. Actually, Oregon just barely missed A tier, now that I look at it. Which I wrote it down as being A tier, but I guess I was wrong when I was jotting it down. No, I jotted down the numbers, right? So from there, it goes Maine. I'm going to move my Streamlabs. Goes Maine. Rhode Island. Texas. A strong B tier. Followed up, funnily enough, well, not quite funnily enough, but you'll see Vermont, Boston, Mass. Where is she? Pennsylvania. And then wrapping up B tier, California. So, very interesting to end up seeing Texas and California end up in the same tier in a community tier list. Interesting, of course. Who the fuck is calling me right now? I'll need to call this person back. So, that ended up wrapping up our B tier, I believe. Although, is there anyone else that makes it through? No. So, from there, C tier goes Florida, starting off with that. Then, where is she? Minnesota. Apologies, dry. New Mexico. New Mexico. I don't think you want to be mistaken with Nebraska in the community tier list, so I apologize, New Mexico. Where's Maryland? Maryland. There she is. Then we got Virginia. We got a four-way tie with these next couple states. We have Nevada. I realize I typed it wrong there. That was supposed to be Wisconsin, West Virginia, and Connecticut. How did Minnesota get lower than Florida? Why are we in Florida tier? You actually tied with Florida. If that makes it better or worse, I don't know what to tell you. What the fuck is Pennsylvania above Cali? Like, seriously. Ask the community. There were various reasons why people rated the states as they did. I'll go into some of my speculation as to why that it got this way once we're done there. From C tier, Utah. Then we got Michigan. Arizona. Just sneaking in to C tier and rounding it out. And then we have D tier. A couple of these are still in D tier, a couple are not F. We didn't put DC in the survey because it's not a fucking state, and so it doesn't count. But from there, we have Indiana, the top of D tier, apparently. Kentucky, New Hampshire, Ohio, Tennessee, Illinois, D tier, Delaware, D tier, Wyoming in D tier, Kansas in D tier, and just barely making it into D tier and clawing its way out of that rating, South Dakota. Oh, I forgot to put in Georgia and hold on. Georgia went next to there. Louisiana was also there. I don't know why I skipped 3 states in a row. I must have just my eyes must have glazed over for a second. And then North Dakota, a little bit better than South Dakota, evidently. Then we got the bottom tier. So that's South Carolina. That's Idaho. That's Iowa. And Oklahoma. I forgot, I didn't put these states in the proper place, so I gotta plug them in real quick. New Jersey barely got out of D tier, and Montana got 2.3, so that would have been 2.3. They were right in with Michigan. Same with New York. Iowa's rightful Minnesotan land. Well, they might want a petition to be annexed after this disgraceful showing. But, yeah. Kipsu's S tier. Tell that to the community. Tell that to the survey, which you also did not fill out, I believe. Actually, I don't want to accuse it because I'm not entirely sure if you filled it out, Kipsu. So, this is what the community ended up going with. Yeah, it doesn't look like you filled it in Kipsu. Tiers are skewed a bit downwards. I think so. Alaska's rightful Canadian land. We're gonna keep Alaska, Maple Tree. I hate to tell you that. We're gonna fight for it. And it's clearly one of our best states, if you can't tell. surprised California is high. I am not personally. I'll tell you guys sort of my speculation why the states kind of ended up this way. Because I know, because I was looking at some of the results. Some of it was outright political. We live in a highly polarized era, and so politics are going to get in the way of people and how people objectively view a state. I know there are certain decisions, especially relating to a certain issue, that's become in contention after a certain court ruling. They ruled on that, or gay rights, or stuff like that. So if states weren't big on those, they weren't big on those states. You also have more liberal-minded people not being too a fan of Texas or Florida, while more conservative-minded people aren't too big on more left-wing states like California. Even though, objectively, those states are not that bad, but they're just letting political leanings get in the way. So there's stuff like that. There's also, we had a pretty big international community and a lot of people who either have not been to any of these states, or a lot of these states, or haven't even been to the U.S., ended up hopping in and raiding states like these they did. So why some bigger states might be more instantly recognizable. Although then again, do they recognize them for good reasons or bad reasons? That's sort of the question that you have there. So this is kind of how it ended up. North Carolina, I forgot to put it on the listing. If I had to guess, it'd probably be like a C tier, maybe a D tier if the community had to rank it. And DC is not a state, so we're not counting it. But that was the community listings. I'm going to go ahead and include a link to the Google Doc if you want to check out how it ended up panning out. In fact, I actually have made a little electoral map thingamajig here that ties in the states with their rankings, and that's going to be included on the Google Doc if you want to look at that. Also probably posted on my Discord, so for anyone watching at home, you can go ahead and check that out. Oh, we might do something similar like this in the future. I'm thinking about doing US state flags next, but yeah, we'll go ahead and vote C tier most states because they didn't leave any impression. That's fair. That's fair. It also depends on how people decide to rate states. Like, some people might put C as the middle ground, and if they don't know anything about the state, C. If they don't know anything, some people might say, I don't know anything about the state, F. And so we'll probably do a flag tier community ranking coming up. So we'll do that as, I'll let you guys know. You can join my Discord. I'll probably post some announcement videos or post as we get that planning as well. So, all the people watching, thank you for watching. Like, so you like, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you have any comments, feedback, concern, comment section below is a place to leave it. The next video is probably going to be my own personal ratings on the states. So we'll probably go ahead and do that probably right after this for the YouTube people, for the Twitch people, I should say. And this will be going up a little after this goes up, I'd imagine. So, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out my links down in the description box below. And that's about it. Stay beautiful and stay hydrated. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.